feel like eating lunch at, you know that restaurant with the airplane above it? Where is that? Mangawika? Yeah, I'm gonna have lunch there. So I started here, way down in Wellington. And here's where I want to have lunch, at the plane restaurant, way up in Mangawika. To make my quest for lunch even more interesting, I'm doing a big loop. Up Highway 2, exploring some fun windy roads, and then back down Highway 1. But to do this, I'll have to charge the bike a few times along the way. My first charging stop is at a campsite in Greytown. Yeah. Dual commandos. Alright, just got to Greytown Campgrounds. It's actually really nice. As soon as I rolled up, somebody came out and was like, hey, you know, what's going on? How can I help you? And I was like, can I use some of your Blue Commando outlets to charge my bike? And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Totally free. Didn't want anything, so awesome. It says, well, I'm at like 38% right now, and so it says about an hour to full charge because I can only use 2, so I'm at 6.6 kilowatts right now, which is totally fine. I had to ride through some crazy rain, but now the sky is like totally blue. It's awesome. So no regrets. Definitely a good idea to ride today. Man, those fans are really loud. So my goal today is to ride over 500 kilometers, just to see, I guess, how far I can ride the bike with the new chargers. One thing I'm curious about is the bike going to be the limiting factor? You know, will I not be able to ride far because the bike takes so long to charge, or will it be me getting tired and just saying, okay, I can't ride anymore? That's something I'll find out today. Alright, Greytown Park. Thanks a lot for the charge. That was awesome. Now I'm heading up to Pahiatua, I think it's called. Should be about 86 kilometers away. Alright, charging stop number 2. I'm in Pahiatua, I think is how it's pronounced. The guy here is super friendly. He let me plug in for free because he wasn't sure how much to charge me. And it's a beautiful place. One of the awesome things about charging at a campsite is that you're out in nature. You're not just like on the side of a highway. You're in a park. And it's also cool that you get to interact with people. You know, when you show up, you can't just plug in. You have to like go and introduce yourself and say, hey, I have an electric motorbike, can I plug in, and all this stuff. And people are always really interested, at least right now, because no one's seen an electric motorbike before. So tons of questions and stuff, which is kind of fun. But I guess that's also kind of a negative, because you can't just roll up, plug in, and then be done. And also, I've only been able to find campsites so far with 2 Blue Commandos, so I'm only at 6.6 kilowatts. Which I'm really hoping that I can use all 3 on this trip, but it's something that you find out, I guess. You find out more about how the little campsite stations are set up. Most of them only have 2, I guess, which is kind of a bummer. It's been taking about an hour. This one's going to take a little bit over an hour to charge, and so Google Maps told me that this whole trip, this 500 Ks, is going to take about 7 hours, because in New Zealand all the roads are really windy and a lot of them are slower than highway speeds. Like a highway doesn't actually go, you know, 100 Ks for the full 500 Ks. It's like you have to slow down and go through cities and stuff. And I have 5 charging stops planned. So if it takes 5 hours, this entire trip is going to take about 12 hours, which gets me back just around sunset. See how we go. Okay, 87%, that should be enough. I'm going to hit the road and head to the next charging stop, which should be Mangawika. Yeah, nice. Just unplug all this stuff. Another thing that someone told me to do was make sure that when you get to a charging stop, don't stop and take a photo. Plug in right away and then take the photo, because you're wasting precious charging time. And I already got all my gear and stuff ready before I unplugged so that I can just put it in my backpack and be on my way. Like so. Well, that was really nice. Really cool place. Wet grass. I was right on this path. Turns out the guy who told me to just go plug in and didn't charge me or anything was not the owner of this place. She came up later and she's like, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing here? Are you staying here?" No. But she was totally cool with it. She said, "Oh yeah, no problem. Just keep charging." And she didn't charge me either, so it's all good. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful day now. Alright, back on the highway. Thanks for everything, Pahiatua. That was great. And now it's time to get to Mangahuika. Oh yeah, finally made it to Mangahuika. Mangahuika? I don't know, everybody I run into on this trip pronounces it differently. But as it turns out, the restaurant's actually closed. How anticlimactic. But whatever, that ride was so much fun, and now I need to go plug in somewhere. I just plugged in at Flat Hills Campgrounds, Flat Hills Campsite, whatever, Flat Hills. They have a really cool cafe, and I'm gonna go hang out there and eat some cake or something. But the problem is, once again, it's only 2 Blue Commandos, and I'm really hoping that both of these have full power, because if one of them trips, then I'm screwed. And I showed up here with 3% battery. On the way, it was cutting my power, so I could only do like 30 miles per hour, 50 k's an hour. Yeah, I really need a full charge to get to Bulls after this. There's a giant spider under that outlet cover. So one thing I realized while I was riding was that I was kind of in a hurry to get to the next charging stop, because I knew that charging takes so long. But once I get here, I realized that I should have just been enjoying the ride instead of, you know, trying to get here as fast as I could, because now what am I doing? I just spent 40 minutes in the cafe eating some food and chilling out, and 40 minutes actually went by really fast, but I still have another 40 minutes worth of waiting. Which I'm not sure if I'm going to. I might pull it a little early, because Bulls is actually only like 50 k's away, so I might just go there and see if there's 3 outlets I can use there. But so what is better, 2 here or possibly 3 or possibly 1? That's my issue. 2 outlets in the hands, is it better than 3 outlets in the bush? I don't know. We'll see. Alright, just got to Bulls. Plugged in at the Bridge Motor Lodge. Pretty cool place, really nice people. They've definitely done this before, because they're like, it's $2.50 for an hour, I think, or just the charge. I don't know. Hopefully I'll only be here for an hour. I don't know. I got here with 25%, which which isn't ideal. I was really hoping for 3 outlets so I could use all my chargers, but once again, only 2. Yeah, sucks. So it's probably going to be about an hour, and then I have one more charging stop on the way home.
One eternity later.
So as you can see, the sun is setting, so I gotta go. The bike is still charging, but I'm just gonna hit the road and see what happens. One cool thing though is that I've gone 364 kilometers today, which is over 200 miles, and I have about 160 left to go, so wish me luck. Alright, it says I have 100%. I don't believe it, but we'll see. Hopefully I make it. My final leg of the trip was about 160 kilometers from Bulls to Wellington, but just over halfway I still had 50% battery, so I figured I'd go for it. Oh man, alright, well that was a long day. That was 13 hours total. And this is how far I rode. And I did it all on 2 chargers. Not on purpose. And I figured out, well, okay, so physically I'm pretty wrecked, so that's one limitation. I don't think the bike was a limitation at all. I mean, I couldn't use the chargers, so I would say that the biggest limiting factor to riding long distance on a Zero is the infrastructure. It seems like in the US you could do it, you could dub J, use 2 J stations, or 3 if you're crazy like that. Over here it's difficult even to do more than 2 Blue Commandos. As soon as more Mennekes Type 2 stations start popping up, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be like, I'll be able to do over 500 Ks super easy, but at the moment it's pretty difficult and it took a long time. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'm gonna go to bed. So see you guys next time.